the podcast setting is good because we can kind of just chat about, we've spent time at our listing out there, the commute, the weather, the golf course, the amenities. We should talk about schools, crime in the neighborhood. We're going to try to cover real estate statistics. Everything you need to know before you purchase a home in PaaKo is the goal of this video. We are here today with Mr. Andy Slow. Andy, do you want to say hi to the wonderful people that follow us on YouTube?
Hello out there.
Hello. Andy is one of the most experienced brokers probably in all of Albuquerque now, over 25 years of experience, and he works for Tradition. Andy, we're grateful to have you.
I'm happy to be here.
Thanks for joining us. How long have you been with us?
Oh, I think going on 6 months now.
6 months already?
Maybe four. Yeah, 4 to 6.
Time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. So to start off with, I think it's important that we talk about the golf course or the golf course having a different ownership group than the community itself.
Exactly.
And so if you do want to be a part of the golf course, it is a separate association or a separate, what would you say?
Membership fee?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a separate membership fee for the golf course. For residents, I believe it's $5,000 a year. Is that what?
I think it's $6,500.
Okay, so
Yeah.
non-residents $8,000.
Yeah.
Residents $6,500, and then if you live outside of the state of New Mexico, I think it was $4,000 a year.
Yes.
Which is interesting. Now, if you live in the community, you don't have to tap into that, but your association dues start around $90 a month, and that includes pickle, tennis courts, a pool, an event space. They had an art and crafts show last week. They host exercise classes. They have a bocce ball court. Any other things that you can think of?
Well, just to emphasize, if you're not interested in golf as part of the community, you don't carry the cost of that in your HOA.
Yep.
So you save money in that regard.
Yeah, so you can be all in on golf, or you can detach yourself from golf entirely. And I think that's a benefit that most, and you may have more experience with golf course communities, Scottsdale, throughout Colorado, your time in Dallas. Yeah. Typically, if you live in a golf course community, you're paying into the golf course no matter what.
Exactly. Your dues are much higher.
Right,
Yeah.
much higher, and you better like golf if you're going to live there. You might as well. This, you can be in a mountain setting, insane views, great weather, which let's touch on weather for a second. So the weather is very similar to Santa Fe. It's about 7 to 8 degrees cooler than in the city of Albuquerque. And so you get a little bit more moisture, things are a little bit greener. And, the house that we have listed, we always talk about, or you joke about pumping the AC and how that's not really necessary out there because of the cool weather.
Because of the weather and the design of the house, given the ability for the air to flow from east to west through the main house. It's just a very good design with the casement windows.
Yeah, I love it. And consistently, PaaKo's golf course has been rated much higher than Las Campanas. The golf course is one of the highest rated golf courses in the country. It's consistently top 50, rated number 1 in the state of New Mexico. It's a private golf club, and so you don't have a lot of people coming and going. But at the clubhouse, next to it, I should say, is the restaurant, bar, and grill. Beautiful patio, views of the pond, the golf course, and then up to the top of the Sandia Mountains, you can see the ski area.
Yes.
Great place to have lunch after a round of golf or just meet friends out in the mountains. And the last thing about PaaKo overall, and I think this gets into the comparison between PaaKo, San Pedro, and San Pedro Creek Estates, is PaaKo feels like that sort of beginning entry into living in the mountains. Lot sizes are maybe 1 acre to 2 acres, whereas in San Pedro Creek Estates, lot sizes vary from 5 to 20, sometimes even 40 acres. And so you feel like you are disconnected from society. Whereas PaaKo, I think, is a little bit more of a community-minded place. Have you You haven't been to San Pedro Creek much.
I haven't. But the thing I like about PaaKo is you don't feel like you have anyone next to you, but there's always someone nearby.
Yes. And I've had clients moving to the East Mountains, Sandia Park area, and they go under contract virtually on a house in San Pedro Creek Estates. And then we go visit it and they go, oh gosh, I didn't realize how disconnected I would be from society. And so then I say, well, PaaKo's that perfect entry point. And you can be disconnected, but again, like you said, your neighbors are close by.
And then the Triangle grocery store is just down the street, literally.
Yeah, that's a good thing to talk about is grocery stores. So it's about 30 minutes to the nearest Costco off of, what is that, Wantabo, near Tramway area. And then the Triangle grocery is 8 to 10 minutes away.
And it's got a gourmet section, fresh sushi, a deli, really some high-end selections there to satisfy everybody.
Yeah, and there's great restaurants in the East Mountains along Highway 14, the Turquoise Trail. Another thing that leads into the differences between San Pedro Creek Estates and PaaKo is the shared septic system in the PaaKo community, which is a part of your HOA dues. So essentially the way that works, because the point of this is to get into some of these weeds here, is the waste goes into your little holding tank and then it passes on to a community holding tank. They sell that gray water to the golf course, so don't eat the grass on the golf course. And again, that's part of your HOA dues. Now you're also connected to Entranosa Water, which is a community water system. And if you give them a call, they have a website that you can go through water quality tests and see exactly the type of water that you'll be getting. You can also talk to them about the what's the word that I'm using for longevity or...
Well, the depth of the well are hundreds of feet. So they estimate no issue with water for many decades.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the security of water at your house. Yeah. You know, I have seen a few houses in the East Mountains and Placitas need hauled water to their holding tank. And being connected to Entranosa, I think, is so valuable because you don't have to worry about that right there. Water depths in those wells are 700-800 feet, and they expect water for many years to come. Whereas in San Pedro Creek Estates, you're on your own private septic and your own private well. So if your well starts running dry or anything of that nature, you're on your own in figuring out your water situation. Right. The Firewise system that PaaKo is a part of has a list of requirements for you to be a part of that. There has to be a certain amount of brush cleanup, distance of trees from your property, and so the whole community is a part of that. So your insurance will be a little bit cheaper than San Pedro Creek Estates. And again, I think it's something valuable as we talk about fire and water in a high desert situation. To have a little bit more security in those two areas is valuable.
Yes.
And another reason why I say it's sort of that soft entry into true mountain living where you're out there on your own.
With way more infrastructure and protections that you would normally get.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we talked a little bit about commute time. So into the Albuquerque International Airport, I think it's about 35-40 minutes. And at grocery stores, we talked about there's restaurants nearby, the Clubhouse restaurant. Let's talk about schools. So there is a public school system, but many of the kids or families send their kids to a charter school. I was trying to get more information before this about how easy it is to be accepted into the charter school, which is a highly rated school system in the East Mountains. And I've heard that it's pretty easy, but I don't have definitive answers on that. So as I get more information, you should reach out to us and we're happy to share that. But a highly rated school system through that charter elementary, I think they go from elementary to high school. So let's talk about real estate. So what I love about PaaKo is because there are these hills and the ridges, you see, especially from the golf course section or down at the clubhouse when you're at the restaurant, you see these, houses dotting the hills, and there's just this, I would say, aesthetic or ambiance that is really beautiful. And the architecture, I would say, is higher end. So if you could, Andy, just touch on the averages.
Well, coming from different markets, it just seems like a great value because you get all the landscape, the mountain living, similar to Santa Fe. You get some of the similar temperatures and weather. And coming from California or other regions of the country, it just seems like an incredible value. The average sales price in the community is about $850. It's under $270 a foot. You find homes that are appropriately sized, not gigantic McMansions, homes that you can really live in and enjoy and capture all the beautiful parts of the wildlife and landscape and views. And so to that end, it's a surprise for a lot of people because they come from California, or they've looked in Santa Fe, and they don't quite understand why it's so affordable. It's just kind of a nuanced kind of thing. It's a special location, and that's why people really love it.
Yeah, and I think what leads into that is PaaKo, in my opinion, is undervalued, or just, I don't think many people, even in Albuquerque, know about
it. It's
PaaKo.
a sleeper.
Exactly, a sleeper.
And it's going to be discovered eventually.
Yeah, and I just don't think, and maybe it's because the golf course is private, there's no need for them to go out and market and draw in people to the houses and living in PaaKo.
Yeah.
Right? And so I just think it's so undervalued for what you do get.
That's a great point, because it's independently owned by some wealthy guys, and they don't need to see homes sell in the community to support their golf course. And so it's just a really special hidden little secret.
Yeah. It's a New York firm, Alvarez and Marsal. I think they're attorneys out in New York that own the golf course. And then the homeowners association owns, obviously the community. But recently, Steve Chavez and I forget Guzman's first name. He owns a concrete business in town. Steve Chavez is the developer of Mesa del Sol. They just purchased an additional 2,600 acres from Roger Cox, who originally developed the entire 3,600 acre community back in the 90s. And so there are plans from Chavez and Guzman to develop PaaKo further. There's a master plan in place right now from Roger Cox, but they have talked about adjusting that. They've even mentioned adding another or additional pickleball courts, an event center, and they've even talked about putting in a cell tower, which seems a little concerning to me if they did that. That doesn't seem like a good use of the space, but I've always had good cell service.
Maybe they will do it in a way that's almost hidden, camouflaged.
Okay.
But if you've got people like that making those kinds of investments in a community, they have to know something.
Yeah, and I've heard rumors from people in the community that they are going to build $2 to $3 million houses. I don't see that being the case, especially with the way Mesa del Sol is developing in the $400,000 to $600,000 range purchase price for homes. But it would be interesting to see what continues to develop with Chavez and Guzman and what they plan to do.
And one other point that's coming to mind in the open houses that we've had, I've had a number of people that own a house in Santa Fe or in California or in Placitas, and they express openly, I wish we would have known about PaaKo before we bought.
Yeah.
A lot of them bought right in COVID or before COVID, and now they're in a spot where now they're considering other areas, and they've really gravitated towards PaaKo.
Yeah, and COVID really made it difficult for people to come and visit and really spend time going to all the areas in and around Albuquerque. And so they didn't get to experience, maybe they saw Placitas first, okay, I fell in love with it, and they didn't get down to Corrales, Los Ranchos, or out to San Pedro Creek Estates.
Or they didn't even know about it.
Yeah, and I think, again, we mentioned that already, but I just don't think a lot of people know about PaaKo. One thing I want to note is new construction or building a home in PaaKo, because there are plenty of lots that are for sale. The difficulty in that area is the difficulty with building in that area is there is a lot of rock that has to be moved, and it's expensive to develop the land itself before you can even start building a home. And then when we talk about building a home, we're talking about tariffs and increase in materials over the last few years. Lumber has gone up, steel, all the materials have continued to increase. And so the value of a resale home, I think with the completion of the lot already and the land developed, landscaping itself, and then the increase and difficulties to build. Again, if you're able to purchase a resale home, I think will just continue to grow in value.
Right. It looks like such a great value over building. But some people just want to build it the way they want to build it, and they don't really care about the end cost of it. And it's a great place for that as well, too.
Yeah, especially for those that have or are using the space as a second home.
Right.
Right. There's a dream or a desire to have things exactly how you want. Every single finish, every view window, the lot, all of that, they want a certain way. And so there's certainly a market out there for that. And there's some incredible builders in the East Mountains. The listing that we have, they added on an addition. Engelman did that. He's built $3-4 million homes here in Albuquerque and throughout the East Mountains. So there's really good options in terms of builders that you can pick from. If you are considering purchasing a home in Santa Fe and you've visited and toured houses and would love to have that address, that Santa Fe zip code at the end, I think there's a place for that. But if you're feeling a little bit tight in terms of how expensive it is, there's such value in PaaKo.
On your home search, as you look at different areas, you probably will be in Santa Fe. But if you take a look at Santa Fe and it doesn't meet everything you're looking for, come to PaaKo. It will provide everything that Santa Fe does and more, without the zip code, without the congestion, and without the price.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think the best way for us to talk about crime in PaaKo is to put up a map from Neighborhood Scout and from Bernalillo County that shows a map of the crime in the area. So our wonderful marketing person will be putting that map up while we're
maybe you mentioned that. Yeah, like that, just like that.
Yeah.
Or was that what you were doing?
That was what I was doing.
Oh, and I interrupted it. Sorry, go.
No, this is the point of the podcast.
Oh, really? You're going to have all that?
I mean, you interrupt me in the office 24/7, so what difference does it make if it's on camera?
There's cameras, there's witnesses.
People want to know your personality, Andy.
Okay. Well, say it just like that again without me interrupting.
Instead of us giving our opinion on crime and some anecdotal stories,
like people leave their doors unlocked or whatever, we just want to direct you.
I think it's important that you go to Neighborhood Scout, go to Bernalillo County, and we'll have our wonderful marketing guy put a map of crime from those, or crime statistics from those websites as an overlay as I'm talking right now. And then if you all have questions or concerns about crime or really anything about PaaKo, we would love to just have you in our office, have a cup of coffee, talk about that. You can call us, email us. All of our contact information will be either in the description or overlaid in this part of the video. And that's what the point of this is to kind of give you that download on what it's like to live in PaaKo and every community that we talk about from here on out. Our personal stories, our personal opinions on things. And then if you have questions beyond that, or if you see a house in PaaKo that you would love to look at, we'd be happy to show you, happy to give you the space to tour that yourself and ask as many questions, look at the clubhouse. We'll go have lunch together there. It's one of my favorite places to eat. I've had 2 birthday dinners there. So we're happy to do that for you. So thank you so much for watching this video all the way through the end. We appreciate your time, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.